tell me who is Adrián Hernandez?
So I am an engineer from Spain. I am the founder of PIC Dental.
So you went from a technology to scan cars to a technology that's 99.9% precise over implants.
Exactly. We didn't know nothing about teeth.
So you had to learn everything.
We have to learn everything. And then I took a box.
This is crazy.
And I took a Lego and I put some Lego stickers on the Lego.
You work with many dentists. How has this changed and benefited some of the top dentists that you work with? What is the feedback you get from those dentists?
Well, be sure that you will have the best team and best technology in los orthodontics.
Welcome back to Supremedental Podcast Studio. You can be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, this podcast was meant for you, our patients. Don't forget, now we're on Spotify, so you can go and you can listen to us wherever you go to get that dental information that you're looking for. Today is a pleasure and it's an honor to have Mr. Adrián Hernandez, founder, creator, and CEO of PIC Dental. How you doing today?
Hello, good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
I've been talking about the podcast. I've been just talking about the PIC throughout months. And now you're here. Now the training, today's the last day of the training. Tell me who is Adrián Hernandez?
So I am an engineer from Spain. I am the founder of PIC Dental. PIC Dental is a small company. It's a boutique company. We create a process to restore implant rehabilitations in a very efficient manner, and we work globally in more than 32 countries.
Wow.
And what we do is we help dentists to create a better process in the rehabilitation of implant prosthesis.
Wow. How did this get started? Where is your main company based? Tell me everything.
So we are based in Spain, in Madrid, and we have an office in Miami, Florida. And we started because I was starting for different automotive, aerospace, foundries, different industries. Okay. I am a mechanical engineer, an electronical engineer, and I know I was in the right place. You know, I was doing a lot of reverse engineering, 3D scanning, big parts scanning, which are much more challenging than small things. And we were working on helping the big industries with the quality control processes. So quality control processes are key. Normally the people, they don't know what is a quality control process. So everything you purchase, for example, this cap, this has a quality control. And you have to create the standards.
Right.
And when we were involved in those processes, we realized that we can do implementation of new technologies. And then, like 20 years ago, the 3D scanners started.
Yeah.
And they were not used for quality control. The 3D scanners were used just for design purposes. So normally how a car is designed is you have the idea, you have the drawings of a car, and then you do the car in clay. Clay is a material for designing, so for modeling. And then you 3D scan the car. And you have the 3D scan, and you have the 3D surface, the shape, how it's going to be done. And we realized that we can start using 3D scanning for quality control purposes. And at first, nobody believed us. No one company. We had 370 customers in the north of Spain, because Spain is the second largest car manufacturer in Europe.
Wow.
Okay, so we manufacture more French cars than France.
Okay.
It's crazy. And then we started with those companies in the Basque Country, in the north of Spain. We started to do reverse engineering of the die stamping. The die stamping, for example, one side of a car is a very large die stamping. You know, when you started to scan, the scan portion is like less than 1 meter by 1 meter square. So you started to scan, and when you start from here and you go all the way to the end, the scan is deformed, it's not accurate. So we start using this technology in order to try to tell them where is the problem in the manufacturing process.
Okay.
So normally they know how to do it. They press, they go to the press, they stamping, boom, 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 and then some parts are not good. So you go back and you 3D scan and you compare with the CAD, and you are doing a quality control comparing what is the design and what is the scan part. And then you just, okay, we have to add some oil here, or we have to remill this radius here. And it's a very interesting part because it's like the fine-tuning of the manufacturing. And we start using it for fine-tuning manufacturing. And then we say, hey, this is accurate enough. We have to find a way to improve the accuracy, because the quality control process is going to be much efficient. And then we start using photogrammetry to do so. And photogrammetry was used, for example, for mill winds. You know these windmills.
The windmills, yes.
And the rotor is very complex to manufacture. And then we use the photogrammetry to locate where the circles or the holes of the rotor are in the machine. Things that the rotor is bigger than this studio.
Wow.
Okay, we can be inside the rotor doing this podcast today.
Wow.
And and then we start with using the photogrammetry. We start using the photogrammetry for aerospace, for foundries, for automotive. And the photogrammetry, it's a very unique, it's a very old technology, but it's to become more precise. And this is what we implement in dentistry. So back in 2007, my father went to the dentist, and he had 7 implants in the upper jaw. And 1 year later, 2008, the prosthesis was broken. So we were having a boys' dinner with my brother and my father, and crack sound, loud, it breaks. And my brother and myself were like, getting fun with my father. And we were to the garage with the Dremel, trying to figure out what happens there.
What's going on?
It was like very bad for my father,
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then I say, okay, let's go to the dentist and see what can you do. And we do the right questions. I was like, why this is broken? No, this is normally could be broken for this, and it's like, but why? And
you having a background in accuracy and building on big things like that, you wanted an answer.
As I am involved in quality control,
yeah,
I was trying to understand why they don't implement a quality control in the process.
Yeah.
So the dentist didn't gave me the right answers.
Yeah.
So I called one of my best friends, which is a dentist, and I told the story, and she told me, came to the university, I will show you how's the process, and you will see. And I understood that there is no quality control process. So say, wow. So you are doing like a very old way, very old technology of taking the impression with impression materials. Then you put the transfers, you put the transfers on it, you put them together with a wire then you put some resin, you cut, you re-splint again. It was, for me, it was like, come on, you know how much technology we have up there?
Yeah, so they're able to make so many errors throughout the way.
I realized there is like...
Welcome to Dental Facts. Did you know implants require the same oral hygiene as the rest of your teeth? You heard it first at Supremedental Podcast. Floss, brush, and keep smiling.
In order to get the right position of the implants, when you are taking the impression with impression material, the conventional way, you need at least 3 visits to the clinic. First visit, they took an impression, they send it to the lab create for you some pre-manufactured prototypes. Then the second appointment, you go, you use them, they splint it together with resin, but resin, Duralite, there is some good materials.
Fertilization.
And then they took the impression. This is a long impression. This is a long one. This is like 30, 40 minutes appointment for this. And then they do a verification jig to understand that everything is in the right position, that the impression was properly done. And sometimes, many times,
you have to redo it.
You have to redo it because it's not properly done.
Right.
So when I see this, I say, come on, we can do something better. And I talked to my boss that time, and I say, hey, Alex, look at my father. My father is now with a denture again. He was with a perfectly nice teeth, and now he's again with a denture, and we have to do something for them. He told me, hey, Adrian, this is the biggest crisis in the last 50 years. We will not go to develop anything. Keep focus in your work. Forget about this.
The usual. That's the usual.
Yeah.
When you tell a great idea to somebody, they're like, stick to what we know. And they're scared of doing something. So keep on going because this is how it was developed.
No, it's true. He was protecting his business, right? So I say, okay, boss. So the next weeks, my father is still with the denture. And I say, hey, Daddy, I will try to figure out if we can speed up this process. And then I took a box.
This is crazy.
And I took a Lego, and I put some Lego stickers on the Lego. And the box just to like the lips, like the head.
Yeah.
And then I started with a camera to do my own research because we were using this photogrammetry stuff for other projects. And I said, hey, we can do it. Let's do a custom specialty thing here. I called to my boss and I say, hey, last call, I'm quitting. I was like, no, Adrian, you have a lot of projects, big projects. We have projects in Kia, in Czechia, in a lot of things. And I say, no, I don't care. My father is still with a denture, and I think there is a place for me in this market, so I will do it. I quit the company and I started, and 15 years later, here we are.
Wow. You found a need for someone that's very close to you, and you developed a whole new thing.
Yeah, it wasn't easy because first thing, we didn't know it's going to work like today works, Today is used worldwide, globally. And it wasn't easy because in that time, the 3D printers, the milling machines, the strategies, even the strategies for milling, they weren't created. So it was just starting like the trend in the labs to scan and to do crowns. But when I started, even there is a very famous software design, ExoCAD, even existed. So
it was a lot harder for you back then. If you would have had everything there is right now, it would have been a lot easier for you to do.
Of course. Imagine in the clinic, you go to a clinic and the clinic, they don't have a 3D scanner. So what we used to do is we take an impression with a custom tray, plastic, and we use the CT scan to convert that
Wow.
to a 3D scanning. So we have to bring like a big computer. In that time, it's not like today. Computers evolved crazy in the last years.
So you went from a technology to scan cars to a technology that's 99.9% precise over implant.
Exactly. And we didn't know nothing about teeth.
So you had to learn everything.
We have to learn everything. Today, I can speak almost like a dental technician or like a dentist.
Yeah, for sure. You've been up and down here for hours. Yesterday, you were here like around 8:15 in the morning, 8:30. We drove back like at 10:45 or 10:30 at night. And you wouldn't stop. Like you were in the lab, you were with the dentist, you were scanning. You have this great personality that I think that makes everything just work even better. Like you keep everybody so involved in the training that they love what they're doing while they're doing it. And people that are like our dentists that love to help, they see, you just boop in the scan, it's over. I remember you told the guy from the lab, there's no way it can mess up. He's like, there's no way it can mess up? Once it's done, there's no way it can mess up. The scan itself, it's already done. And he's like, I thought he was going to cry because it was such an impact for him. But tell me how, obviously you just told me how it was created, and it's an amazing story. It's something that really pumps you up for anybody who's out there that wants to develop something different and that's told no, and that's stick to what you do. We were told stick to what we know. That's how great things are born. That's how legends are born. It's crazy because every single person that has made it to something different or has developed something, they were told they were crazy. They were told it wasn't going to work. They were never told how it was going to work. And now, like you said, we're here. But tell me how the PIC dental impacts our patients.
Well, the first thing, a patient that didn't suffer, let's say suffer, the conventional process when they are treated with our process, they don't know what they don't know, right?
Exactly. They don't exactly.
So they cannot compare.
Right.
But those patients that already had some experience with dental implants, when they came to the chair and they just got these black and white PIC transfers and you can see the doctor like bing, 2 seconds done. They hey, it's done. It's not the thing that you put the plaster in my mouth and we are here forever. No, it's done. We are done with this. And they get like, wow, this clinic is super technological.
Yeah, George is gonna go ahead and put a video. We have videos while the training is going on, and the reaction of our patients when they get everything done. And normally our patients look at the scanners that we have already, and look at our computers that are coming from the ceiling, and look how their touchscreen, how the X-rays, they come out automatically. But this is a whole new thing. This is going to change patients that normally have to stay here for such a long period of time to get their second stage, to be able to get it a lot faster and a lot more efficient, because the efficiency part is what blows my mind. And you're going to have those clinics that are going to tell you, well, that's just a digital scanner. And it's not. It's not a digital scanner. We got scanners. We've had scanners. But this is a whole different world. The accuracy. How did you get it for it to be? It's just insane. Like it's what does the accuracy do to the work of the patient?
Well, just for example, our camera. We have a system that is. You need a camera. You need the PIC transfers. Everything needs to be very accurate. The software. We have 2 algorithms in the software to make that accuracy real. And the point here is not only the accuracy. The accuracy, just for you to know, one optic of one of our cameras, just the optic, the lens, cost more than 6,000 euros one optic.
Wow.
because of the material and the accuracy and the quality control needed. If we're talking about microns. So when you are talking about millimeters, quality control is quite easy. When you are talking about 100 of microns, which is 0.1 millimeter, we're talking about the quality control raises up a lot. But when we're talking about 0.01 millimeter, which is 10 microns or less, it's almost impossible for optical systems. Impossible. It used to be impossible 15 years ago. So when we started, we need a system this 10 microns accurate. Optical? No way, you're crazy. This was done like this, and this impacts in the patient because they will not have a break. Meaning, if you have a break, a fracture in the zirconia, you will have to come back to the patient, to the dentist. So, but it's not only that you have to come back your time, which is very important. It's also that one break could also damage the implant stability.
And you can start from all over again.
Exactly. And no one wants that.
Right. No, exactly. And I mean, just to put it in easy terms, the accuracy of the PIC dental helps the patient get a passive fit, which means everything will be distributed correctly. Everything will be a lot. Like you said, a patient that has never had this before, you're like, well, what's the big difference? Well, there's a huge difference. How many, you go in, we take impressions, and then we do a test, and then we do another test, and we're eliminating those errors. We're eliminating the man-made errors. We're using technology to an advantage, like we should. Like it should have been done 15 years ago or more, until you guys came and you guys made that possible. So the patient, they don't know the big difference, like you said. They don't know, but somebody who's been here and has done, there's multiple impressions that have to be taken, tests, come back in 3-4 hours, come back tomorrow. You know what? It wasn't, you moved your bite. You didn't bite right. There was a problem with the lab. And it just keeps on pushing, and you eliminate these man-made errors. You use technology to an advantage. So that is what the PIC dental does. So when someone asks you what's 99.9% precise, the PIC dental is. That's what it is. And it's crazy. And we're not saying, I'm not saying it. I mean, do your research. Do your research. And the best dentists in the world that have tried this are saying how it has changed and revolutionized everything, because they know all the tests and they know the errors that can be done, and then all of a sudden something breaks, and it was because perhaps it was an error somewhere around the lines, and you're eliminating. Now, you're not saying nothing's going to break still, but everything's going to be so much smoother, so much more precise, predictable. This is now. Tell me, how does this benefit the dentist? So we talked about how it benefits the patients. So if you guys go to a dental clinic, if you guys do your research, no matter who you decide to go to, hopefully you decide to come to Supreme, but if you decide to go anywhere else, you deserve the best. Do your research from accreditations, from warranties, obviously, but also about technology. Don't let somebody just tell you, you're going to come back, well, how's my second stage? Well, we're going to take this impression and this impression and this impression. And then ask them, well, do you use the PIC dental? And if they say no, well, then you should tell them you should, because you guys deserve the best. And if it's literally comparing apples to apples, this is just like a rotten apple, this is an apple pie. Like, there's no comparison whatsoever. Like, our doctors were in shock. We have doctors with master's degrees, people that are doctors that specialists that do pterygoids, that I've never seen them so shocked like with this system. And it blows my mind because it's blowing their mind. And to me, what they do, I'm like, wow. But they're like, wow, what's going on right here? How did you get it to look like, have you seen WALL-E?
Yeah.
It looks like WALL-E's head, but in white. How did you, like, it just happened?
It just happened.
Because when I looked at it,
photogrammetry, we need two optics, two big eyes, WALL-E.
And then it's you said it's infrared?
Yeah.
So it's infrared. So it's It's just, you thought about all these things. Yeah, I don't know, you might have a couple different hamsters in your head running at the same time, because this is something different.
Well, we had the right people, the right partners. We know very well the market, and we just touch the right one, and it happens. It was really fast to develop, but most important than the system itself. What they say scanner is not a scanner. It's because we don't scan. It's a measuring system. Okay? We are measuring. Every time we switch on the machine, it's measuring. It's not scanning. Okay. But anyway, the most important is that we have a streamlined process, and this is most. We are now talking about PMMA. We are talking about polyoxide methyl. We are talking about zirconia. We are talking about different materials, fiberglass, carbon glass. We are able to mill titanium, to mill chrome cobalt. You have a bunch number of opportunities, and you will always start from the PIC file, from the impression, the capture, and you will build these prostheses. You are able to create a bar, to create a monolithic, to create a hybrid, to create a scallop denture. You want to go to FP1, FP2, meaning you have the false gum or without. That depends on what are you.
All the options.
All the options, and all the options means more or less travel in the lab and the clinic. But now, because we put all this together, it's not no travel or no travel. This is what you are going to have every time. This is the stress level of the clinic, and you have no stress at the clinic. The
better work.
The productivity increase,
Right.
And then when the productivity increase, everyone is going to be more efficient, and the patients notice that.
Yeah, no, you give less room for error. Tell me how this is. I mean, you're just telling me right now, but you've worked with many dentists. How has this changed and benefited some of the top dentists that you work with? What is the feedback you get from those dentists?
Well, at first, the first feedback is the passive feedback. They used to say, now I understand what the passive feedback did. I was working hard to have these feelings, and I never felt what I felt today. Never.
Wow.
They were like, it's not, you have no tension, the screw goes in till pook, till the end. And this is the first feedback they gave to us. But then they realize the occlusions are going to be more accurate. And then they realize the communication with the lab rises up like crazy. And this is key. Because communication with the lab, you are a team, lab and clinic. And you have to be, the more connected you are, the better outcome you will
for
get.
For patients, yeah.
For patients, for the prosthesis. So this communication, a lot of clinicians told me, Adrian, thank you, because we now understand much more from the lab side, and the lab side now understand much more from the clinic side.
Right.
And this is key. And another thing is that we were talking before, the stress of the clinic go down. Another thing is options. The clinics say, wow, I was never using this material or this other material. No? The polymethyl methacrylate, which is a PMMA, it's well known in the market. There are a lot of polymethyl methacrylate. There are dozens with more layers, less layers, more translucent, less, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And I remember one of the best doctors of the world. We work with top guys globally, and they are challenged. They know what they're doing. It's not somewhere else. And I remember talking to one of them, and I say, I see you are. It's a very famous periodontist. I see you are doing a lot of composite adhesion to your PMMA temporary. Yeah, because we need to perform the gingiva, to contour, we have to do another provisional. It's like a high-end job, very manual thing. And I said, why don't you use POM, polyoxide methylene? It's another material, is 4 times less bacterial plaque retentive, 10 times less
Stronger.
fungi,
Oh, fungi, okay.
and it's stronger.
It is right.
So you don't need to use these small little parts that you have to glue in the prosthesis, because if you have to glue something in the prosthesis, you are adding a manual thing to the complete robotic and automatic workflow.
Okay.
So you are spending a lot of money in technology like milling machines, PIC, intraoral scanners,
And not using it
CT
to the
scanners.
fullest.
And then at the end, you fool the entire process by cementing
Manually.
a titanium part very small manually. And I told him, you can use this material. And he was humble enough to get the tip and say, okay, I will use it. And I saw the other day in Chicago, in the Midwest Society, American Society of Periodontology, and I saw him, he was doing a lecture, 4 hours lecture, it was amazing. And I was looking at his cases. Every case he's using POM, and he's really embracing not only the tip I gave to him, but the big advantage for the patients. You will have immediate loading prosthesis, you want it to be very hygienic, you want it to be strong, and you want it to be like nice aesthetically, but those patients that they know what they want, they don't want like a superpower white smile. They are suffering for another dentist, and they want to go like the last thing they want to do is to be focused on the aesthetics. They want like
The one functionality.
and hygiene, because they realize at the end, if you don't have a really nice hygiene in your mouth, you are going to have more problems, maybe in 10 years, 5 years, whatever.
Wow. Oh, tell me, I heard, a bird told me, that you had not trained for quite some time.
It's been a long one.
What made you train Supreme?
Well, for me, I was in a course in San Diego, like 2 weeks ago, and I went to Chicago to this midwinter, and they told me, Adrian, there is a lot of trainings running. My technicians are traveling every time to do the software. Last training I did, it was in 2020, I guess. And so, yeah, a little bit, like I need to
Take the rust off?
And it was so nice. This area in algodones is unique in the world. And there are a lot of dentists with a lot of competition here.
Yeah.
And I think it was a right moment to come here to help you guys and to train your guys. And I was surprised. You have a very young and talented team.
Thank you.
And I am very, very happy to come here.
Thank you. When we were on a trip, and Sylvia calls me, and she tells me the dates, and truth be told, she told me a date, and I said, oh yeah, let's do it. And then I called George. I go, hey George, you ready to record this video that we've been waiting? Because this needs to be recorded. Because I always say, you can be the best dentist in the world, but if your patients don't know, you get no patients, what does it matter? So I'm like, we need to record this, and we need to let the world know what the PIC dental is, how it helps them, how it makes a difference for them, for us, for everybody. If they're gonna pay thousands of dollars to get the best possible. Get something that's gonna fit perfectly. Get something that's 99.9% precise. Then he tells me, I'm gonna go out and tell him, man, I'm gonna baptize somebody, and my wife's birthday is that, and I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And he's like, no, man, I'm not. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I tell Sylvia, can we change the date? And she gives me completely a different date. And I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, let me see. And then she calls me. She's super excited. And she's like, oh, yeah, Adrian's going to be able to do training and this and that. And, you know, I heard about the PIC dental, and I read your story, but I didn't remember your name. So she kept on mentioning it, and this is such an honor. I'm so excited. I wish I could be there too. And I'm like, who's Adrian Hernandez? And she's like, the creator. And he's gonna go. And I was like, whew. And I'm like, I called him, and he was like, oh my God. I called Luis, and he was like, oh my God. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was shocked. I had to sit down and take a breath. And I'm like, is this happening? This is a huge honor. So thank you so much for being here, That's Supreme. Thank you so much for being here at the podcast. I know that you're a very busy man. I know that you said that you haven't trained in quite some time and you had to take the rust off, but it feels great because who better than you to show your product? So I just want to thank you for everything. It's been a journey, and I'm happy that you're able to be part of it.
Thank you very much. It's been my honor to be here and to see your team, your clinics. I love it.
Thank you. Is there one last thing you want to say to our patients out there that?
Well, you are very welcome here to Los Algodones. The team is going to be fantastic for you. You will really enjoy. Food is amazing. It's another point. So yeah, we are here preparing them to treat your prosthesis very nice. So be sure that you will have the best team and best technology in Los Algodones.
Well, thank you so much, Adrian. And this has been Supreme Dental Podcast, powered by Supreme Dental Clinic. We got Big Dental and Supreme. It's a beautiful thing. Keep on smiling.